Yeah. Yeah, there are some challenges in radio. Like you said, if you have an early show, that's a challenge. But
well, it cuts into your social life a little bit because you're at a friend's house for a party, or you're going to dinner out to dinner with people, and by 8:00 at night you start looking for an opportunity to close the party and go home, because I have to be in bed by 9:00 at night to get up and to be fresh and bright and clever and to be really ready for a morning show. So that's the biggest challenge that adds to my life.
yeah, so tell us about your show. What do you do with your radio show? Do you interview people like me? Do you like my show, or play music? What is your show?
Over the course of my career, Trey, I have interviewed quite a few people on my radio program, but this particular radio station is a music-intensive station. So we really focus on the music. We target our music to an audience of 40-year-olds and over. So I'm playing the hits of the 60s and the 70s, and we're focusing on that music. So really, there's not a lot of personality on my program. I interrupt the program 4 times an hour to do a commercial break each time, and then there's some personality involved, but it's very short. We're driven by the music, and that's the main part of our program, and that happens on all of the shows throughout the day. We don't do a lot of talking, and we don't do interviews, although I have done that on other stations that I've owned and operated.
Yeah. See, when I first started out, I first started playing music. Then I switched to interviews.
Sure. Who are some of the personalities you've interviewed, Trey?
Well, I interview people in the entertainment business. Some big names, some small names. The biggest name I've ever interviewed was Ed Asner. Oh,
wow, that's a good one. Ed Asner is a very talented guy, and he's sure been in show business a long time.
Yeah, very nice man. And
yes.
Some smaller names, but to me, I don't really see big or small. You know, they all are in the entertainment business and have a story to share.
Sure.
Besides radio, do you do anything other than entertainment? Are you an actor, or just mainly in voiceover?
I've worked in motion pictures for a number of years since when I was a child. I worked in movies when I was a child, and then I went for a big period of my life and didn't do any film work. Then in the 70s, I acted in the old TV series Streets of San Francisco with Carl Malden and Michael Douglas. And I worked in 14 episodes of that show. I was on the police force in the series Streets of San Francisco. Then I acted in a film called The Enforcer, which is the third Dirty Harry film that featured Clint Eastwood. And I had a role in that film. And then most recently, I acted in a film called .com for Murder, starring Huey Lewis and Roger Daltrey of The Who. That was in 2000. So I've done some acting. I've done TV shows and movies. And then, of course, I like to MC concerts. That's one of the things that I enjoy more than maybe anything else in radio, is the opportunity to meet and MC concerts for some of the biggest recording stars.
Yeah. I've done some acting as well, but to me it comes back to voice work and radio, because that's where I started, you know.
Sure.
Because, you know, you have to rely on your voice a lot, and I just like that because there's so many different things you can do with that.
That's right. You're right, Trey.
Do you have any upcoming projects in radio or voiceover work or acting?
In voiceover work, I have new challenges every day. I produce commercials for other radio stations, and I use my voice to produce radio commercials on stations all over the country. I do voice work for television stations, and so every day there are new projects that I'm involved in. Not terribly exciting. Usually they're commercial announcements that I'm recording for clients, but in the acting field, no, I really haven't had anything of any significance since the year 2000. But it's something that I'd be open for. I always look for opportunities. I'm still a member of the Screen Actors Guild and SAG, and so Screen Actors Guild and AFTRA, so I keep my membership to the union current, and I always kind of hope there's another acting role. I hope there will be another one.
Yeah. You never know. Something new may come along. Yeah.
You don't know. You're right.
Yeah, I always look forward to new projects. I keep busy every day with radio and voice acting. It's good to keep busy because if you enjoy it, why quit, you know?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Do you have any advice to people who want to get in radio and the career you chose?
You know, I think I think the best thing to do if people want to get into radio, my advice to them would be find a radio station near where you live. Find a radio station that could use your services and try to start in your hometown where people know you and people are familiar with you and will support you as listeners and maybe as advertisers, and then build your career from there. A lot of people think they'd like to start in a city like San Francisco or Los Angeles or Chicago. But the best thing is to start small in your own hometown and then kind of work your way up in the business. But be ready to do a lot of different jobs. You can't just rely on announcing. You've got to rely on your ability to learn other fields or other facets of radio, including sales and management, even engineering. So there are a lot of different elements to radio that don't involve being on the air. I think it's good to learn as many of those other elements as you possibly can.
Yeah. Learn all different kind of fields in the entertainment because you never know. One aspect may come in handy.
You're right.
And lastly, where can people find your show? Do you have a website or what's the name of the radio station?
We do, Trey. We have a website at www.thelegendradio.com, and we stream 24 hours a day at that website. And that's the best way to get a hold of me, or people can email me directly at mediateambuilder@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, Mr. Morgan, thank you so much for sharing your how you got started in your career and your experiences and advice to me and my audience. Thank you so much.
Trey, it's an honor to be on your program. I thank you so much for taking the time to interview me, and very best wishes to you in your career, Trey.
You too, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
And that was radio show host and actor Mr. Roger Morgan. Thank you for listening to us today. Join us Thursday when we interview actor and voice actor Mr. Jack Angel. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.